Shri Ramcharitmanas, the Mansale containing the exploit of Shri Rama, descends 6 Lankakam Shlokam, Ramam Kavari Sevyam, Bhavabhai Haranam, Kalamatte Bhasitam, Yogendram Gyanagambam, Gundidhi Majitam, Nirgulam Nirvikaram, Mayatitam Suresham Kalvad, Nirantam Brahmavante Kadam, Vande Kandavadant Sarasi Chaitanya, Demoshi Rupam. I adore Sri Rama, the supreme deity, the object of worship, even of Shiva, the destroyer of the Cupid, the despair of the fear of rebirth, the lion to quell the mad elephants in the form of death, the master of yogis, attainable through immediate knowledge, the storehouse of the good qualities, unconquerable, attributeless, immeasurable, beyond the realms of Maya, the Lord of Celestials, intent on killing the evildoers, the only protector of the Brahmans, beautiful as a cloud laden with moistures, who has lotus-like eyes and appears in the form of earthly king. I glorify Shankara, the Lord of the Kashi, the modern Varanasi, the consort of the Girija, Himalaya's daughter, the storehouse of the good qualities, the destroyer of the Cupid, worthy of all praise, shining like a conch shell or the moon, most handsome of person, clad in the tiger's skins, decked with dreadful ornaments in the shape of the deadly serpents, found of Ganga and the moon, the allier of the sins of the Kali age, and the celestial sea, yielding the fruits of blessedness as wishes. My Lord Shambhu, the bestower of the blessings, who confers on the virtuous even final beatitude which is so difficult to obtain, and who punishes the evildoers, extend his blessings to me. O my soul, why do you not worship Sri Rama, who has the indivisible time for his bow and the various divisions of time, such as Parmanu, a twinkling, a moment, a year, an age, and a cycle, for his fierce arrows? On hearing Ocean's words, Sri Rama called his counselors and spoke to them thus: Why delay now? Build the bridge so that the army may cross over. Listen, O glory of the solar rays, said Jaman with joined palms. Your name itself, my lord, is a bridge by ascending which men cross over the ocean of the mundane existence. I will take no time to cross this insignificant sea. Hearing this, the son of the wind god added, My lord's glory is a great submarine fire that had long since dried up the water of the ocean, but it was filled against by the flood of the tears shed by your enemies' wives. That is how it came to be Berkshire in taste. When the monkey presents there hear the hyperbolic remark made by the son of the wind god, they gazed on the person of the Sri Rama, the lord of Raghu, and smiled. Jaman called the two brothers Nala and Nila and related to them the whole stories. Calling to mind the glory of Sri Rama, start building the bridge and you will experience no difficulty. He then called the monkey troops and said, Hear all of you a small request of mine, enshrine in your heart the lotus feet of Sri Rama and engage yourself in sport. Bears and monkeys all, go forth, you formidable monkey troops, and bring numerous trees and mountains. On hearing the commands of the monkeys and bears set forth, hollowing and exclaiming, Glory to the almighty hero of the Raghu race. They would lift up gigantic trees and mountains in mere sports and bring them to Nala and Nila, who in their turns carefully set to build the bridge. The monkey brought huge mountains which were received like play ball by Nala and Nila. When the All-Merciful saw the exceedingly beautiful construction of the bridge, he smiled and observed thus, This is the most delightful and excellent spot. His glory is immeasurable and cannot be described in words. I will install an emblem of the Lord Shambhu here. It is the crowning ambition of my heart. Hearing this, the monkey, dispatched a number of messengers who invited and fetched all the great Sikhs. Having installed an emblem of the Lord Shiva and worshipped it with due solemnity, He said, "No one else is so dear to me as Shiva." An enemy of the Shiva, although he called himself a devotee of mine, cannot attend to me even in a dream. He who is opposed to Shankara and yet aspires for devotion to me is doomed to perdition, stupid and dull-witted as he is. Men who thought devoted to Shankara are hostile to me, and even so, these who are enemies of Shiva but devotees of mine shall have their abode in most frightful hell till the end of creation. They who will behold Lord Rameshwara will, on quitting the body, go direct to my spheres in heaven. And a man who takes the water of the Ganga and pours it on the Lord will attain liberation in the form of absorption into my being. Again, whomsoever adores the Lord in a disinterested spirit and without glue will be blessed by Shankara with devotion to me, and he who see the bridge erected by me will be able to cross the ocean of worldly existence without any exertion. Sri Rama's words gladdened the heart of all, and the great sage returns each of his own hermitage. Girija says Shankara, such is the ways of the Lord of Raghu. He ever loves those who take refuge in him. The clever Nala and Nila constructed a bridge, and by Rama's grace their renown spreads for the far and wide. Those very rocks that not only sink themselves but cause even other things to sink along with them floated like so many rafts. This is, however, not ascribed to any miraculous power of the ocean, nor to the virtue of the rocks themselves, nor again to any skill of the monkey. It was by the glory of the Sri Rama, the hero of the Raghuline, that rock floated on the ocean. They are all dull-witted indeed, who go to worship a Lord after than Sri Rama. Having completed the bridge, they made it exceptionally strong. The All Merciful was glad at heart to see it. As the army marched, it was a sight beyond all telling. The troops of monkey warriors roaring as they went, as ascending an eminence near the bridge. The gracious Lord of Raghu surveyed the vast expanse of ocean. All the creatures inhabiting the ocean appeared on the surface in order to have a look at the Lord, who was the very fountainhead of the mercy. There were many kinds of alligators, crocodiles, fishes, and serpents, with bodies 800 miles in the length and colossal in size. There were others who could devour even these. They, in their turns, were afraid of some other creatures. All gazed upon the Lord and would not stir even when diverted. They were all glad at heart and felt very happy. Covered by them, the water could not be seen. They were filled with ecstasy at the sight of Sri Rama's beauty. The army advanced on receiving the Lord's commands. Who can describe the vastness of the monkey host? The bridge being overcrowded, some of the monkey flew through the air, while others crossed over, treading on the back of the sea monsters. The gracious Lord of Raghu and his brothers laughed at the sight of this amusing spectacle and marched. The hero of the Raghu line reached the other shore along with the host. The throng of the monkey chief was beyond all description. The Lord encamped himself across the ocean and commanded all the monkey to go and regale themselves on the beautiful fruit and roots. As soon as they heard this, the bears and the monkey ran off in all directions. All the trees bore fruits in the interest of Sri Rama, it seems, are out of the season, without any regard to the law of times. The bears and the monkey could eat the luscious fruits, shake the trees, and hurl hilltop towards Lanka. If they ever found a straggling demon there, they all heamed him and heamed in and teased him not a little. They would bite off his nose and ears and let him go out go only after reciting to him the Lord's fair renows. Those who had thus lost of their nose in the ears went and related everything to Ravana. The moment he hears that the sea has been breached, the 10 headed monsters exclaimed in consternations with his tongue at once. What has he really bridged the waves, the billows, the seas, the oceans, the main, the deep, the brine, the tide, the haline, the lords of rivers? Then realizing his own nervousness, he laughed and laughed, he laughed and left for his palace, forgetting his fears. When Mandodari, his Ravana's consort, heard that the Lord has arrived and bridged the ocean as Umar sport, she took her spouse by the hands, led him to her own palace, and spoke to him most sweet accents. Laying her head at his feet, she spread the end of the garment as a token of the supplication, and said, "Listen to my words without getting angry, my beloved. One should enter into the hostility with him alone whom one may be able to conquer by wit or physical force. The disparity between you and the Lord of the Raghus, however, is certainly analogous to that obtaining between a firefly and the sun. You who dispose the most powerful Madhu and Katubha and finish the most valiant son of the Diti, Hiranyakashyap and Hiranyash, Nehu bound Bali and dispatched King Shahasrabahu, so called because he was possessed of 1,000 sarps. It is he who has descended on the earth in order to relieve its onerous burden. My lord, you should not oppose him who is the master of time, fate, and soul. Bowing your head at Sri Rama's lotus feet, restores your daughters to Janaka's daughters to him, then handing over the kingdom to your son and retiring to the forest, worship the Lord of the Raghu. Sri Rama, the Lord of Raghu, my Lord is compassionate to the humble. He will surely forgive you. Even as tigers, the most furious of all beasts, will not devour a man if he goes submissively before him. You have already accomplished all that you had to do. You have conquered not only gods and demons, but the whole animate and the inanimate creation. Holy men, my lords, have declared this maxim that the monarch should retire to the forest in the fourth stage of his lives. There may spouse there there my spouse you should adore him who is the creator, preserver, and destroyer of the universe. Renouncing all worldly ties, my lord, worship the self same hero of the Raghu line who is the fount of the suppliant, the same lord of the Raghu, the king of the Kaushala, whom the greatest of the six hard to strive hard to realize, and for whom monarchs relinquish their throne and shed every attachment. It is he who has arrived here to shower his grace on you. If, my beloved, you accept my advice, your fair and exceedingly holy renown shall spread through all the three spheres. So saying, she clasped him the feet, and with eyes full of tears and trembling the every limb, she added, "My Lord, worship Sri Rama, the Lord of Raghu, so that my union with you may last till eternity." Thereupon Ravana lifted Maya's daughter Mandodari, and Raj began to harp of his own glory. "Listen, darling, you are haunted by idle fears. With what warriors in this world is my equal? I have conquered by the might of my arms not only Varuna, the god presiding over the waters, Kubera, the god of riches, the wind god Yama, the god of punishments, and all the other regents of the quarters, but death himself. God, demons, and human beings are all under my control. What is the cause of your fear then?" He thus reassures her in many ways, and once more went and sat in his council chambers. Mandodari was now convinced at heart that it was her husband's impending death which had turned his head. Returning to his council hall, he asked his ministers, "How shall we proceed to fight the enemy?" "Listen, O Lord of the demons," replied the minister. "Why do you ask these questions again and again? What is there to be afraid of which should engage our thought? Human beings, monkeys, and bears are our food." Hearing the words of all, Prasha, Ravana's son said with joined palms, transgress not the bound of propriety, my lord. Your counselors possess very little wit. All your stupid ministers tell you only that which is pleasing to their master, but that way you cannot succeed. My lord, a stray monkey sprang across the ocean and came this side, and all the people still extol his doing in their heart of heart. What, did none of you have any appetite then? Why did you not seize and devour him while he was burning your city? Your ministers has given you, my lord, an advice which, though pleasant to hear, will hand you in the trouble afterwards. He who has had the sea bridged is my sports and has crossed over the Shovela hill with all his army. Tell me, is he an ordinary mortal whom you say you will devour? All these people are simply bragging. Dear father, listen to my words with great attention and do not account me a coward. There are multitudes of men in this world who are given to hearing and uttering pleasant words. Those men, however, who hear and utter words which are most salutary yet jarring to the ear are few and far between, my lord. Listen to my sound advice. First send an enemy of the Sri Rama, and afterwards, when you have restored Jinka's daughter, make friends with him. If he withdraw on receiving back his consort, you should have no more quarrel with him. Otherwise, meet him face to face on the battlefields and give him a tough fight. If, my lord, you accept this advice of mine, your fair renown will spread throughout the world of the either case. The ten-headed monster asked his son Prasha in a fury, Fool, who has taught you such wisdom? If you entertain doubt in your mind, from even now, my son, you have proved yourselves to be the prickly plant on the root of the bamboo which brings about the destruction of the bamboo. On hearing the harsh and the most malignant remark of his father, Prasha left for home, uttering these bitter words. A word of the good counsel fall flat on you, even as a medicine prove ineffectual for a man who is doomed to die. Finding that it was evening now, the ten-headed monster turned toward his palace, fondly gazing on his 20 arms. On the highest river of the Lanka stood a most wonderful hall. A music and a dancing contest used to be held. Ravana went and took his seats in that hall while Kinnaras, celestial songsters, began to sing his praises. Expert celestials on the knife commenced their dance to the accomplishments of cymbals, tambours, and lutes. He constantly reveals in luxury 100 times as much as Indra could enjoy. He had a most powerful foe threatening at his doors, yet he has no anxiety or fear. At this end, the hero of the Raghuran encamped with his vast army on Mount Suvela, observing a very lofty, supremely lovely, even as remarkably shining piece. Lakshmana carefully sprang on it with his own hand, beautiful young leaves and blossoms of the trees, which he covered with a charming and a soft deer skin. It was on his seat that the gracious Lord rested himself. The Lord placed his hat in the lap of the Sugriva, the Lord of the Monkey, with the bow and quiver of his left and right. He was passing both his lotus hands on an arrows, while the would-be king of the Lanka Vishnu whispered some secret in his ears. The blessed Ankita and Hanumana knead his lotus feet in diverse ways, while behind the Lord sat Lakshmana in the pose of the warrior, with the quiver fastened at his waist and the bow and the arrow ready in his hands. Thus rested Sri Rama, the embodiment of benignity, beauty, and goodness. Blessed are those men who remain ever immersed in the thought of the Lord as depicted here. Looking towards the east, the Lord saw the moon rising above the horizon and said to them all, Just look at the moon and see how undaunted, like the king of the beast loin, he appears. Dwelling in the eastern quarter, which may be compared to the mountain cave, this lion of the moon, as embodiment of the supreme creature's glory and strength, struts through the forest of the sky, having rent asunder the crowd of mad elephants in the form of the darkness. The stars appear like so many pearls strewn all over the skies, which serves to adore the lovely dame of the night. Now tell me, brethren, continue the Lord, what you think each of you of the dark spot in the moon, said Sugriva. Listen, O Lord of the Rahu, it is only the shadow of the earth that's seen in the moon. The demon Rahu struck the moon's at another. At the spot is nothing but a scare left on the letter's bosom. But the scare left on the letter's bosom. Raman Rahu struck the moon's head another, and the spot is nothing but a scale left on the letter's bosom. A third suggested where Brahma the creator fashions the face of the Rati, consort of the god of love. He took out the essence of the moon, thus leaving a hole in the orbs. Therefore, the hole is still visible in the heart of the moon, and through it can be seen the shade of the blue. The Lord said, poison is the moon's most beloved brother. That is why he has locked it in his heart, and diffusing his en- envenoment rays torments parted lovers. Said Hanumana, listen, my lord, the moon is your own beloved servant, and it is your image enshrined in his heart that appears as a dark patch. Pause 7 for the 99 days recitation. Om Shri Ramcharitmanas, the Mansa lake containing the exploit of Shri Rama, exploit of Shri Rama, exploit means exploit of Shri Rama, containing the exploit, the Mansa lake containing the exploit of Shri Rama, the Mansa lake containing the exploit of the Shri Rama, containing the exploit of the Shri Rama, the Mansa lake containing the exploit of the Shri Rama, exploit of the Shri Rama, Mansa lake containing the exploit of the Shri Rama, Mansa lake containing the exploit of the Shri Rama, Mansa lake containing the exploit means exploit. Make full use and derive benefit of a resource is called the exploit. Make full use and derive benefit from a resource is called the exploit. Make use of the considered unfair or underhand is called the exploit. Make use in a way considered unfair or underhand is called the exploit. Make full use or derive benefit from a resource is called the exploit. Make full use and derive benefit from a resource is called the exploit. Make full use and derive benefit from a resource is called the exploit. Make full use and derive benefit from the resource is called the exploit. Make full use and derive benefit from the resource is called the exploit. I adore Sri Rama, the supreme deity, that object of worship even of the Shiva, the destroyer of the Cupid. I adore Sri Rama, the supreme deity, the object of worship even of the Shiva, the destroyer of the fear of rebirth, the lion to quell the mad elephants in the form of the twelve. The lion to quell the mad elephants in the form of the red lion to quell the mad elephants in the form of the quell means lion to quell the mad elephants. Put an end typically by use by force. Put an end typically by use of force is called the quell. Put an end typically by use of force is called the quell. Silence is called the quell. Silence is called the quell. Surpass a feeling is called the quell. Surpass a feeling is called the quell. Silence is called the quell. Silence is called the quell. Surprise a feeling is called the quell. Surprise a feeling is called the quell. Suppress a feeling is called the quell. Suppress a feeling is called the quell. I adore Sri Rama, the supreme deity, the object of worship, even of the Shiva, the destroyer of Cupid, the destroyer of the Cupid, the despair of the fear of rebirth, the lion to quell the mad elephants in the form of death, the lion to quell the mad elephants, lion to quell the mad elephants in the form of death, in the form of the death, in the form of the death, the master of yogis, attainable through immediate knowledge, attainable through immediate knowledge, attainable through immediate knowledge, attainable through immediate knowledge, attainable, put an end typically by use of force is called equal. Put an end typically by use of force is called equal. Put an end typically by use of force is called attainable. Able to be attained, achievable. Able to be attained, achievable is called attainable. Able to be achieved, achievable is called attainable. Achievable is called attainable. Attainable through immediate knowledge, knowledge. Attainable through immediate knowledge, 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 attainable through immediate knowledge. Knowledge means fact, information, skill acquired through experience or education. A theoretical and practical understanding of subject is called the theoretical and practical understanding of subject is called the attainable. The theoretical or practical understanding of a subject is called the attainable. The theoretical or practical understanding of a subject is called the attainable. The theoretical and practical understanding of a subject is called attainable. Awareness of familiarity gained by experience or fact or situation is called attainable. Awareness of familiarity gained by the experience or fact or situation is called attainable. Awareness of familiarity gained by the experience of fact or situation is called attainable. Attainable firmly through attainable through fact, information, skill acquired through experience or education. The theoretical and practical understanding of subject is called attainable knowledge. Attainable through knowledge, understanding of the subject. Though attainable through knowledge, attainable through knowledge, attainable through knowledge, attainable through knowledge. The storehouse of the good qualities, the storehouse of the good qualities, unconquerable. The storehouse of the good qualities, unconquerable, unconquerable, attributeless, immutable, beyond the realms of Maya, beyond the realms of Maya, beyond the realms of Maya. Attainable through immediate knowledge, the storehouse of the good qualities, unconquerable, 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 attributeless, immutable beyond the realms of Maya, the Lord of Celestials, intent on killing the evildoers, intent on killing the evildoers, intent on killing of the only protector of the Brahmans, beautiful as cloud laden with moisture, 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 who has lotus-like eyes and appears in the form of earthly king, who has lotus-like eyes and appears in the form of an earthly king, who has lotus-like eyes and appears in the form of the earthly king, who has lotus-like eyes and appeared in the form of the earthly king. I glorify Shankara, the Lord of Kashi, the modern Varanasi, the consort of the Girija, Himalaya's daughter, the storehouse of the good qualities. I glorify Shankara. I glorify Shankara, the Lord of the Kashi. I glorify Shankara, the Lord of the Kashi, the modern Varanasi, the consort of Girija, Himalaya's daughter, the storehouse of the good qualities, the destroyer of the Cupid, worthy of all praises, shining like a conch shell or the moon, most handsome of persons, clad in the tiger's skin, decked with dreadful ornaments, in the shape of the deadly serpents, found of the Ganga and the moon, the layer of the sins of the Kali age and the celestial tree, yielding the fruit of blessedness as wishes. The celestial trees yielding the fruit of the blessedness and wishes. The celestial tree yield the fruit of the blessedness as wishes. Blessedness as wishes. Blessedness as wishes. Blessedness as wishes. Wishes means blessedness as wishes. wishes, blessedness as wishes. Wishes means blessedness as wishes. Wishes means a desire or a strong feeling that you want to have something or do something is called the wishes. A desire or a strong feeling that you want to have something or do something is called the wishes. A desire or a strong feeling that you want to have something or do something is called the wishes. A desire or a strong feeling that you want to have something or do something is called the wishes. A desire or a strong feeling that you want to have something or do something is called the wishes. A desire or a strong feeling that you want to have something or do something is called the wishes. A desire or a strong feeling that you want to have something or do something is called the wishes. A or desire or a strong feeling, a desire or a strong feeling that you want to have something or do something, that you want to have something or have something or do if you want to have something or do something, have something or do something or do something. She was sincere and genuine in her wish to want to have something, and so wishes blessedness as wishes. Celestial trees yielding the fruit of blessedness, the Kali and the celestial trees. I glorify Shankara, the Lord of the Kashi, the modern Varanasi, the consort of Girija, Himalaya's daughter, the storehouse of the good qualities, the destroyer of the Cupid, worthy of all praises, shining like a conch shell, or the or the moon, most handsome of persons, clad in the tiger's skins, decked with dreadful ornaments, clad in a tiger's skin, decked with dreadful ornaments in the shape of the deadly serpents, fond of the Ganga and the moon, the allayers of the sins of the Kali age, and the celestial tree yielding the fruit of blessedness as wishes, and the allayer of the sins of the Kali age, allayer of the sins of the Kali age, the allayer of the sins of the Kali age, the allayer of the sins of the Kali age, and the celestial tree yielding the fruit of the blessedness, and celestial tree yielding the fruit of the blessedness as wishes. I glorify Shankara, the Lord of the Kashi, the warner Varanasi, the consort of the Girija, Himalaya's daughter, the storehouse of the good qualities, the destroyer of the Cupid, worthy of all praises, shining like a conch shell or the moon, most handsome of person, most handsome of person, clad in the tiger's skin, dyed with the tiger's skin, dyed with the dreadful ornaments in the shape of the deadly serpents. Found the Ganga and the moon, the allayer of the sins of the Kali age, and the celestial tree yielding the fruit of blessedness as wishes. May Lord Shambhu, the bestower of blessings, bestower of the blessings. May Lord Shambhu, the bestower of the blessings. May Lord Shambhu, the bestower of the blessings. May Lord Shambhu, the bestower of the blessings, who confers on the virtuous even final beatitude, who confers on the virtuous even the final beatitude, who confers the virtuous in the final beatitude, which is so difficult to obtain, and who punishes the evildoers, extend his blessings on me, and who punishes the evildoers, extend his blessing to me. The who punishes the evildoers, extend his blessings to me. O my soul, why do you not worship Sri Rama, who has the indivisible time for his bow, and the various divisions of time, such as Parmanu, a twinkling, a moment, a year, an age and cycle for his fierce arrow, an age, a year, an age and the cycle for his fierce arrows. On hearing oceans world, Sri Rama called his counselors and spoke to them thus: Why delay now? Build the bridge so that the army may cross over. Listen to the glory of the solar rays, said Javan with joined palms. Your name itself, my Lord, is a bridge by ascending which men cross over the ocean of the mundane existence. I will take no time to cross this insignificant sea. Hearing this, the son of the wind god added, My Lord's glory is the great submarine fire that had long since dried up the water of the ocean, but it was filled again by the flood of tears shed by your enemy's wife. That is how it came to be Berkshire in taste. When the monkey present there heard this hyperbolic remark made by the son of the wind god, they gazed on the person of the Sri-Ram and the Lord of Raghu and smiled. Jamant called the two brothers Nala and Nila and related to them the whole stories, calling to mind the glory of Sri Rama. Start building the bridge and you will experience no difficulty. He then called the monkey troops and said, Hear all of you a small request of mine, and shine in your heart the lotus feet of the Sri Rama, and engage yourself in a sport. Bear monkeys all. Go forth where formidable monkey troops will bring numerous trees and mountains on hearing this on hearing this command, the monkey and the bear set forth hurrying and exclaiming, Glory to the Almighty Hero of the Raghu line! Glory to the Almighty Hero of the Raghu race! They would lift up gigantic trees and mountains in mud sports and bring them to the Nala and Nila, who in their turns carefully set to build the bridge. The monkey brought huge mountains, which were received like play ball by the Nala and Nila. When the All-Merciful saw the exceedingly beautiful construction of the bridge, he smiled and observed that this is most delightful and excellent sport. His glory is immeasurable and cannot be described in words. I will install I will install the emblems of the Lord Shambhu here. It is the crowning ambitions of my heart. Hearing this, the Lord of the Monkeys dispatched a number of messengers who invited and fetched all the great Sikhs, having installed an emblem of Lord Shiva and worshipped it with due solemnity. He said, No one else is so dear to me as Shiva, an enemy of the Shiva, although he calls himself a devotee of mine, cannot attend to me even in a dream. He who is opposed to Shankara and yet aspires for devotion to me is doomed to perdition, so stupid and dull-witted as he is. Men who thought devotee to the Shankara and hostile to me, and even so, those who are enemy of the Shiva but devotee of mine shall have their abode is the most frightful hell till the end of the creation. They who will behold Lord Rameshwara will, on quitting the body, go direct to my spheres in heaven, and a man who takes the water of the Ganga and pour it on the Lords will attain liberation in the form of absorption into my being. Again, whomsoever Shri Rama, 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 Shri Rama. Again, whomsoever adores the Lord in a disinterested spirit and without glue will be blessed by Shankara with devotion to me, and he who sees the bridge erected by me will be able to cross the ocean of worldly existence without any exertion. Sri Rama's verse gladdens the heart of all, and the great Sikhs returns each to his own hermitage. Girija says Shankara, such is the way of the Lord of the Raghu. He ever loves those who take refuge in him. The clever Nala and Nila constructed the bridge, and by Rama's grace their renown spread far and wide. Those very rocks that cannot sink themselves but cause even other things to sink along with them floated like so many rafts. This is, however, not ascribed to any miraculous power of the ocean, nor the virtue of the rocks themselves, nor again to any skill of the monkeys. It was the glory of the Sri Rama, the Lord of Raghuline, that rocks floated on the ocean. They are dull-witted indeed who can do worship Lord even worship a Lord other than Sri Rama. It was the glory of the Sri Rama that rocks floated on the ocean. They are dull-witted indeed who go to the worship a Lord other than Sri Rama. Having completed the bridge, they made it exceptionally strong. The All-Merciful was glad at heart to see it. As the army marched, it was sight beyond all telling. The troops of the monkey warriors sprang as they went, ascending an eminence near the bridge. The gracious Lord of the Raghu surveyed in the vast expanse of the ocean. All the creatures inhabiting the ocean appeared on the surface in order to have a look at the Lord, who was the very fountain head of the mercy. There were many kinds of the alligators, crocodile fishes, and the serpents, with bodies 800 to 5 miles in length and colossal in size. There were others who could devour them, even these. They, in their turns, were afraid of some other creatures. All gazed upon the lords and would not stir us even when diverted. They were all glad of the heart and felt very happy. Covered by them, the water could not be seen. They were filled with ecstasy at the sight of the Sri Rama's beauty. The army advanced on receiving the Lord's commands. Who can describe the vastness of the monkey host? The bridge being overcrowded, some of the monkey flew through the airs, while others crossed over, threatening on the back of the sea monsters. The gracious Lord Orog and his brother laughed at the sight of his amusing spectacle in March. The monkey of the monkey, the hero of the Raghu line, reached the other shore along with the host. The throng of the monkey chief was beyond all description. The Lord encamped himself across the ocean and commanded all the monkeys to go and regale themselves on the delightful fruits and roots. As soon as they heard this, the bears and the monkey ran off all directions. All these trees bore fruits in the interest of Sri Rama in season or put off seasons without any regards to the laws of the time. The bears and the monkeys would eat the delicious fruits, shake the trees, and hurl hilltops towards Lanka. If they ever found a straggling demon anywhere, they all hemmed him in and teased him not a little. Nay, they would bite off his nose and the ears and let him go only after reciting to him the Lord's fair renown. Those who had thus lost their nose and the ears went and related everything to Ravana. The moment he heard that the sea had been bridged, the 10 headed monster exclaimed in consternation with all the tongue at once. What has he really bridged? The waves, the billows, the seas, the oceans, the main, the deeps, the brine, the tides, and Hera in the Lord of the rivers. Then, realizing the own nervousness, he laughed and left for the palace, forgetting his fears. When Mandodari's Ravana's consort heard that the Lord has arrived and bridged the ocean is my reproach, she took her spouse by the hands, led him by her own palace, and spoke to him in the most sweet accents. Pouring her head at his feet, she sprang the ear end of her garments as a token of supplication and said, "Listen to my words without getting angry, my beloveds. One should enter into hostility with him alone, whom one may be able to conquer by wit or the physical force. The disparity between you and the Lord of the Raghu, however, is certainly analogous to that obtaining between a firefly and the sun. He who disposed of the most powerful Madhu and Katiba and finished the most valiant son of the Diti, Hiranyash, when the Hiranyakashyap and Hiranyash, they who bound Bari and the dispatched King Sahasrabahu, so called because he was possessed of a thousand sabs. It is he who has descended from the earth in order to relieve it on its burdens. My lord, you should not oppose him who is the master of time, fate, and the soul. Bowing your head at Sri Rama's lotus feet, restore Janka's daughter to him, then handing over the kingdom to your sons and retiring to the forest, worship the lords of the Raghu. Sri Rama, the Lord of the Raghus, may my Lord is compassionate to the humble. He will surely forgive you. Even as a tiger, the most furious of all beasts, will not devour a man if he goes submissively before him. Who you have already accomplished all that you had to do. You have conquered not only gods and the demons, but the whole animate and the inanimate creations. Holy men, my Lord, have declared this maxim that a monarch should retire to the forest in the fourth stage of his life. There, my spouse, you should adore him who is the creator, preserver, and destroyer of the universe. Renouncing all worldly ties, my lords, worship the self same hero of the Raghuline, who is the founder of the suppliant, the same lord of the Raghu, the king of Kaushala, whom the greatest of the six strives hard to realize, and the whom monarchs relinquish their throne and shed every and shed who is found renouncing all worldly ties, my lord, worship the self same hero of the Ruline, who is the founder of suppliant, the same lord of Ragu, the king of whom the greatest of sages strives hard to realize, and for whom monarchs relinquish their throne and shed every attachment. If he who has arrived here to shower his grace on you, if my beloved you accept my advice, you fair and exceedingly holy renown shall spring through all the three spheres. So saying, she claps him to his feet, and with the eyes full of tears and trembling in every limb, she added, "My Lord, worship Sri Rama, Lord Raghu, so that my union with you may last till eternity." Thereupon Ravana lifted Maya's daughter Mandodari, and the wretch began to harp on his own glory. He said, "Darling, you are haunted by the idle fears. What warriors in this world is my equal? I have conquered by the might of my arms not only Varuna, the god presiding over the waters, Kubera, the god of riches, the wind god, Yama, the god of punishments, and all the other regents of the quarters, but death himself. God, demons, and human beings are all under my control. What is the cause of your fear then?" He then reassures her in many ways, and once more went and sat in his council chambers. Mandodari was now conceived as thought that it was her husband impending death which had turned his head. Returning to his council hall, he asked his ministers, "How shall we proceed to fight the enemy?" "Listen, O Lord of the demons," replied the minister, "why do you ask these questions again and again? What is there to be afraid of which should engage our thought? Human beings, monkeys, and bears are our food." Hearing the words of all Prasha, Ravana's sons said with joined palms, "Transgress not the bound of property, my lord. Your counselor possesses very little wit. All your stupid ministers tell you only that which is pleasing to this master, but that way you cannot succeed, my lord." A stray monkey sprang across the ocean and came this side, and all the people still extolled his doing in their heart of heart. "What, did none of you have any appetite then? Why did you not seize and devour him while he was burning your city? Your ministers have given you, my lord, advice which, through treason to the ear, will hand you in trouble afterwards. He who has had the sea bridged is mere sports and has crossed over the Suela hills with all his army. Tell me, is he as ordinary mortal man whom you say you will devour? All these peoples are simply bragging. Dear father, listen to my words with great attention and do not account me a coward. There are multitudes of men in this world who are given to the hearing and uttering pleasant words. Those men, however, who hear and utter words which are most salutary yet jaggering in the ears are few and far between, my lord. Listen to my sound advice. First send an envy of the Sri Raman. Afterwards, when you have restored Janka's daughter, make friends with him. If he withdraws on receiving back his consort, you should have no more quarrel with him. Otherwise, meet him face to face on the battlefield and give him a tough fight. If, my lords, you accept this advice of mine, your fair renown will spread throughout the world. In either case, the 10-headed monster asked his sons Prasha in a fury, "Fool, who has taught you such wisdom? If you are entertained doubt in your mind from even now, my sons, you have proved yourselves to be a prickly plant at the root of the bamboo." This brings about the destruction of the bamboo. On hearing this, the harsh and most malignant remark of the father Prasha left for the home, uttering these bitter words of the good counsel fall flat on you, even as a medicine proved ineffectual for a man who is doomed to die. Finding that it was evening now, the 10-headed monster turns towards his palace, for fondly gazing off his 20 arms. On the highest level of the Lanka stood the most wonderful hall, where music and a dancing concert contest used to be held. Ravana went and took his seat in that hall, while Kinnara's celestial songsters began to sing his praises. Expert celestial knives commenced their dance to the accompaniment of camel tabrets and the lute. He constantly relieves in luxuries 100 times as much as Indra could enjoy. He had a most powerful foe threatening at the door, yet he had no anxiety or fear.
At the end of the hero of the Raghuline encamped with his vast army of the Mount Suvela, observing a very lofty, supremely lovely, immense and remarkably shining peak. Lakshmana carefully spread on it with his own hands beautiful young leaves and blossoms of the tree, which he covered with a charming and the soft deer skin. It was on his seat that the gracious Lord rested himself. The Lord placed his head in the lap of the Sugriva, the lord of the monkey, with the bows and the quiver to his left and the right. He was passing both his lotus hands and arose, while the wood heap king of the Lanka Vishnu whispered some secrets in the blessed Angada and Hanuman knead his lotus feet in diverse ways, while behind the Lord sat Lakshman in the pose of warriors with the quiver fastened in his vest and the bow and arrow ready in his hands. Thus rested Sri Ram, the embodiment of benignity, beauty, and goodness. Blessed are those men who remain ever immersed in the thought of the Lord as depicted here. Looking toward the east of the Lord saw the moon rising above the horizon and said to them, just look at the moon and see how undaunted, like the king of the beast lion, he appears. Dwelling in the eastern quarter, which may be compared to the mountain cave, this lion of the moon as embodiment of the supreme grandeur, glory, and the strength struts through the forest of the sky, having rests under the crown of the mad elephant in the form of the darkness. The star appears like so many pearls strewn all over the sky, which serves to adore the lovely dame of the night. Now tell me, brothers, continued Lord, what did you think each of you at the dark spots in the moon? Said Sugriva. Yes, Lord of the Raghu, it is only the shadow of the earth that it seems to in the moon. The demon Rahu strikes the moon, said another, and the spot is nothing but a scare left of the latter's bosoms. A third suggested when Brahma the creator fashions the face of the Rati, consort of the god of law, he took out the essence of the moon, thus leaving a hole in the orbs thereof. The hole is still visible in the heart of the moon, and through it can be seen in the shade of the blue. The Lord said, poison is the most beloved brother, that is why he has lodged it is in heart and diffusing his environments in women's rays, tormented parted lovers. Said Hanuman, listen, my lord, the moon is your only beloved servant, and it is your image inside his heart that appears as a dark page. Pause 7 for the 9 days recitation.